leads the league in scoring and in rebounding. He's going to be a presence inside for Sheffield to deal with.
Yes, Daniel, it's been a huge acquisition by Coach Paul James, and you know, you're never sure when players join a team halfway through or after the season has started how they get accepted by the teams, but he's been doing his business in and around the basket, and obviously with a great point guard like Marek Klassen that they have here, what a great 1-2 punch.
Well, let's take a look at the starting five for the two teams, starting with the hometown Worcester Wolves, and we've already mentioned Walker inside, but Kennedy, who has been here since the start of the season, is another guy capable of putting points on the board, as to is Trevor Setti, who's a street three-point shooter.
Yeah, and obviously whenever you have a team on the floor, you want to see plenty of energy. Kennedy brings a lot of that, as does Danny Huffor, and Trevor Setti has won before over there in the States, looking to establish himself in his pro career. I just think he's one of those guys, you know, you flip a coin with him and he could be absolutely awesome in a game like this.
Let's take a look at the lineup for Sheffield Sharks, and despite returning from injury, Rablicki will come off the bench. There's also no Colin Singh, as Coach Atiba Lyons talked about, but as currently constituted, Sheffield Sharks, form team in the league. They've won their last 5 games, the only team in the league to do that.
Absolutely, haven't tasted defeat in over a month and a half, coincided with the return of Jordan Davis to the lineup, and of course the fantastic play of Zach Gachet.
Well, Atiba has sent his team out already, and he shakes hands with the table officials, and we're almost ready to go. And I was sent an interesting tweet just shortly ago that said Worcester Wolves have yet to beat any of the top 6. They're 5-5 against the rest of them. They've got to find some way of knocking off those top teams if they're going to progress in this competition and also climb up the table.
Well, that's right, and of course it is a big test because, you know, these are two teams you'd expect to be further down the line in this competition, so a good team is going to miss out tonight, that's for sure.
Well, here we go with the opening tip, and it is Worcester who win it, and Huffor will cross the halfway line with the ball for the Wolves. Kennedy inside to Setti, good position, and he finishes off the glass. It's all about where he set his feet. Absolutely beautiful.
You know, the Sharks there switched the men on defense, immediately spotted by Setti to post up on a fantastic pass inside for the deuce.
It's Davis. Remember, comes up top, fakes it for 3, puts the ball on the floor. Back to Davis. Shot clock getting low on Sheffield here. Mike Tuck with a tough shot. And Kennedy pulls in the rebound.
Real bundle of energy, Kennedy. Good to see him starting with a lot of athleticism. And that Tuck-Walker matchup is going to be interesting, both offensively and defensively.
And here is Walker. First touch, first shot doesn't go. Thornton will pull in the rebound. These two teams did meet here very early in the season. I think it was second weekend of the season that these two teams met in league play. And Sheffield had got off to a disastrous start, hammered at home by Leicester, but came down here and beat the Wolves pretty comfortably. Rablicki played very well that night. So too did the other Davis, who's no longer with them, Shaheed Davis. But that was, it looked at the time a bit of an upset, but actually since then, things have turned around, and the 3 knocked down gets Sheffield their first score of the game.
Really nice shooter, is remembered. Spot up very, very nicely.
Kennedy. Now Klassen has it. Klassen fires up to 3, can't convert, but the long rebound comes down in the hands of Huffor. Here's Setti, tough shot for 2, doesn't go. Tuck with the boards.
Well, they're getting the looks they want, just not going down right now, Worcester.
Here's Jordan Davis for 3, and Walker throws the quick outlet pass, which Odell Beckham style, one-handed pulled in by Huffor. Klassen inside to Davis. To Walker, sorry, tough shot. In fact, he's blocked a little bit. Davis can't keep it alive, and it's out of bounds, and it will remain in possession of the Wolves.
Referee's letting them play, which is good to see right now. I was really impressed by Walker when I first saw him. He's quite happy to shoot the ball, whether it's 10 feet out, 15 feet out, quite comfortable across the key area.
Ooh, they were lucky there that bobbled through his hands. Huffor, I think, didn't realize he had another couple of seconds on the shot clock. He knew it was low, but maybe went a bit quicker than he actually had to on that. Slow start here.
Yep, feeding each other out. It's been a while since they played each other. Oh, beautiful backdoor play.
And Gachette can't convert, but can't convert because he's fouled. Walker has his hand up, and it is him who's called for the foul. And Gachette will go to the line. Shooting 2. Looking to give the scoreboard operator something to do here. Not been the busiest person in the arena so far. Second one does go. It's 4-2. Klassen leads the league in assists. Worcester actually have the league's leading scorer and rebounder,
and
leads assists and free throws as well. Backman leads the way in free throws, and yet they struggle to consistently win ball games. Kennedy's 3 doesn't go. Thornton.
Well, now you mentioned that, Daniel, the last team that did that was, oh, beautiful lead pass to Tuck. The last team that did that was the MK Lions that failed to make the playoffs in 2010, if my memory serves me right.
Well, I would do deference to your memory when it comes to the MK Lions, Vince.
Demarius Bowles scoring,
Indeed.
Demarius Bowles assist, Daniel Northern rebounds.
Just goes to show it's not all about filling the stat sheet up, is it?
That magical mix that coaches look for.
Here's Davis. Remember, with the jump shot, knocks it down.
He will do that all day long. Catch and shoot, money in the bank.
4 minutes in, Wolves down 4. Haven't quite got into their offensive rhythm just yet. As Huffor goes in, can't convert from close range, and Mike Tuck with the good box out.
Yeah, doing a yeoman's job. He's directing traffic, he's talking all the time, he's Tuck, making sure they get what they want.
Oh, well done, Kennedy. Moved out of the way as Thornton backed up and just lost his feet, ended up traveling.
Yep, pulled the chair out from under him. Big Kellen Thornton there for the DBL Sharks, unable to make it happen. The Wolves are gonna have to be careful here. They've had all the shots they need, they're just not clicking. The Sharks are being very, very super efficient.
Huffor down to Kennedy. Here's Klassen now with the shot clock at 5. Klassen takes the 3 off the back of the ring, chased down by Huffor. He lets that jumper go. That one doesn't go in either. Not quite there, are they?
No, not at all.
And that will be a foul on Klassen as Davis drives to the hole.
Davis is very good at that. Whenever he's driving, he's looking for contact all the time. You see him here identified as only Klassen, no shot blocker right under the basket, and goes straight into the face of Klassen. Foul is called, 2 shots.
Well, Worcester have taken almost twice as many shots as Sheffield in the game so far, but they've made fewer. 2 of 11 versus 3 of 6. Not a good mix, that, but Davis can't convert the first free throw.
No. I mean, I think for this Wolves team this season, I think they need the ball to go up and down, and they need to put up a lot of shots. But obviously, conversion rate is going to be important.
Well, I described them as the DeLorean of the BBL this week. 88 is their magic number. Above 88 points scored, and Worcester are unbeaten. Seti knocks down a 3. Below 88 scored, and they haven't won a game.
That's what I mean. They need to go up and down. You know, Seti needs to get in the groove. They've got a lot of shooters on the team, but they seem to be confident shooters.
And for the record, they're 2-1 when scoring exactly 88. Thornton with the jump shot, halfway down, but comes out. Gachette doing well on the offensive glass. Davis into Thornton with the rearrange.
Nice assist, Jordan Davis. Uh-oh, here we go.
Seti, this is going up. He's open. He can't convert the 3, though. you have to say that's Trevor Setti's shot, isn't
That's
it?
definitely a Trevor Setti shot, and you'd expect him to take that all day long.
Tough. Inside, good pass, but great hands.
Absolutely beautiful hands from Setti.
Kennedy onto Klassen. Huffor steps back in the corner for three. Gets that one to go. Just the second three-pointer of the game.
As sure as the sun will rise, you know Danny Huffor's taking those.
Bichette. Little long rebound for Setti, and despite not shooting the ball very well here in the opening 6.5 minutes, Worcester can take the lead. Klassen, Huffor fakes the three, now takes it and knocks it down. Back-to-back threes for Danny Huffor, and the Wolves are up 2.
Well, the beauty of the three-point shot changes the scenario.
Davis under pressure gets it in to Tuck, backing down, stumbling. It's out to Bichette in the corner. His three is too long. Who that touched last? I think it was Klassen, and so does the referee.
Despite his kind of hopeless plea that it was the other way.
He made a convincing point to say it was his possession, but the referee not buying it. Tony Rublicki into the game for the first time. He played the first 10 games of the season before breaking his hand.
Yep.
And looked good in the games that I saw him play. And he certainly gives them some extra size in there, now with Tuck and Rublicki out on court. Remember, putting it on the floor to the finger roll, overcooks that. Rublicki trying to get the offensive rebound, but Huffor comes up with it.
Nice.
Here's Huffor again. 3 in a row for Danny Huffor.
This is what the Wolves are all about. It's all about the energy in the building. It's all about the love for each other on the floor. The last time we saw them on BBC when they won that game against Bristol, that's how they got their energy going.
Here's Rublicki. Oh, good finish inside.
A nice way to announce your return to action.
Backman drives baseline. In now to Walker. Gets his own rebound. Goes up strong. That's when he's so effective at offensive rebound, turning it into 2
Absolutely, and you love to see a big man when he got that rebound, who had that hard dribble, eased himself even closer in for the easy finish.
Backman came up with his man and then jumped into a double team to try and knock that away. Ended up committing a foul. Third foul of the game, all on Worcester.
Yep. Having said that, they're in the middle of an 11-2 run here.
Well, Tuck's got the size there on Huffor in the low post, but they go to Rembert instead. Mid-range, just automatic.
Yep.
They need to get a bit more of a challenge on that
Someone
shot.
needs to get up on that dude, or he's going to fill you up.
Kennedy driving, can't convert. Riley with the rebound. Tuck on the trail, will pull up for 3 and doesn't quite knock it down. You've got to keep your eye on Mike Tuck.
Absolutely, all the time. He lulled him to sleep there on the trail. Good thing for the Sharks is Tuck's still no fouls despite guarding the big fella.
Huffor's done it again, his 4th triple of this opening quarter, and he's up to 14 points.
This is what I do, says Mr. Huffor. This is what I do.
Well, he does have games like this where he can explode for 30-something points.
Yep.
He's done it throughout his BBL career.
He as I say, he delivers what it says on the tin. That's what he does.
Tuck under pressure from the shot clock, trying to get it over the backboard. It ended up hitting the shot clock and therefore out of bounds. Maurice Walker will sit down as Navas checks in, but nobody taking Danny Huffor out of the game at this moment in time.
Oh, no.
Here he is. Goes the opposite way on the screen. Turns that three down because of the defense. Backman steps out behind the arc. Navas trying to fight for it. Does chase it down.
They've got time.
Klassen spins, drives in. Out to Huffor. Fakes the three. Takes it on the buzzer. No! Finally missed one. He'd made 4 of 4. But he couldn't quite get that one to go at the end of the opening period. But he's been the difference here in this first 10 minutes.
Without a doubt, with the overheating, Huffor had the opportunity there for yet another triple. But wow-wee, what a finish to the quarter from the Wolves.
Well, Sheffield started the game looking pretty good, feeling pretty good about themselves. And I suppose from Atiba's point of view, they're going to go, well, he's not going to go 4 for 4 every quarter, so we just got to keep doing what we've been doing.
Well, it's interesting because what we did say at the beginning of the game was that the Wolves were getting all the shots they wanted, and they weren't making them. They were still getting all the shots they wanted. Now they're making them. So you really can't live on will he, won't he?
Well, it was the first one. He was so wide open, got him going. Took that one nicely, sold the defense again, open three. And, you know, once they start going in, it looks easy and easy, so then even the challenge one drops in.
And the thing is now, what that starts to do is spread the defense out as the Sharks are scrambling to try to stop that. And then we're going to get some inside play going in a minute from Walker and Kennedy.
Well, that is the beauty of that, is that when you've got the big man inside, if you can give him a little bit more space, he's more likely to take advantage of it, because we haven't seen a lot of Mo Walker here in the opening quarter. Just the 2 points and 2 rebounds for him.
Yeah, he's been very quiet.
But he's pretty much a walking double-double, so at some point in this game, he's going to have his run of it.
Well, the way the shooting's going, that's going to spread the floor for him. You hope to see him go. But the Sharks now got a conundrum to solve.
Well, here we go then. Second quarter about to get underway. The Sharks trailing by 6, but with possession of the ball. Blicky on the poster. Riley.
Looks like a zone defense from the Wolves on the floor now.
Riley driving down the lane. It looked like he was looking for other options, but the defense never stopped the ball, so he laid it in.
Very composed player. Knows where everybody is on the floor. You saw when he sort of rested Davis by handling the ball a little bit earlier on. He'll be key to what the Sharks want to do.
Kennedy. Navas. Now Klassen has it. Klassen will take the 3. Thornton tips it down, but only to Backman. He overcooks that, and Rablicki with the ball.
It's my first time seeing Backman in the flesh.
Davis. Again, just got inside the lane, and the defense left him alone.
That zone's got a big hole in the middle.
Backman down low is fouled by Brownell.
The Sharks are switching that pick every time when the Wolves run that same play. They're switching the small guy onto the big guy, and that's twice they've been able to take advantage of it. 1 for the score, 1 for the foul.
First foul of the game against Sheffield. It's come over 11 minutes in. There's only been 4 fouls in the contest. Klassen open for 3. Tipped by Huffor, but not quite. Well, Worcester are second in the league in terms of made 3-pointers. They average 9 made 3-pointers per game. They've hit 5 in the opening 11 minutes as Davis hits one at the other end.
Well, that's the conundrum solved. 5 points from Davis. And the Sharks
Sheffield
are back ahead.
yeah.
This is going to be an ebb and flow, I feel. But that 88 may well come up.
Huffor drives in, gets it to Kennedy. Kennedy down the lane. Good switch of hands to the lane. battle in the low post between Roblicki and Navas, but the ball doesn't come that way. Goes instead to Brown, fires up from behind the arc. Klassen comes in from the weak side to get that rebound, out to Kennedy. Down low to Huffor. He wants it again on that low block, but it goes the opposite way to Klassen. Klassen for three. Gets it to go. We've struggled from the three-point line in the opening 12 minutes, but that's his first one.
Well, that's the third Wolf, if we can call him a Wolf, hitting a three. Still in that zone-ish. No, they've come out of that.
Navas called for the reach in. I like that. He put his hand up and shook his head. No, put his hand up to admit the foul and shook his head no.
No.
Well, Huffor will sit down.
So we've got
Walker will check back in.
two bigs in there now. Walker already with one foul. Hopefully he doesn't get one on Roblicki, who's being very active on his return.
Davis. Thornton steps back, one on the shot clock as he fires up. Oh, Roblicki kindly gets the ball bobbled to him. And Davis is fouled. He'll go to the line for two.
I think that's the second foul on Klassen.
Just a little late to recover.
Yep.
And you look down the list, and there are 6 fouls in the game, but 2 of them on Marek Klassen. So he has to sit down. Ashton Khan will come in for him. Jordan Davis needs the help of the ring, but it goes in for 2 and cuts the lead down to just the basket.
Zach Gachet's back on now for the shot as well.
Lob towards Kennedy. Kennedy through the double team off the glass for 2.
Proving very effective around the rim.
Roblicki hands off. Gachet drives in, bobbles out for him. Walker with the rebound.
Ooh, nice pass ahead.
Just a little bit too high for Kennedy, though.
Tried to catch it with the one hand. Every time I see Kennedy's headband, I always want to adjust it. As it's poised right on the top of his head.
Timeout called. We're almost 4 minutes into the second quarter. The Wolves leading Sheffield by 28 points to 24. And I think this is one of those where I don't think either coach will be massively disappointed with the situation that they find themselves in.
No, not really. I mean, the Wolves missed a lot of shots early, but they're shooting 45% from the 3. The Sharks look like they would put themselves in a bit of a hole, and they found their way back, and it's just a 4-point game.
So put yourself in that seat there, Vince. You're a team of Lions. What are you saying to your guys here with 6 minutes to go to halftime?
Well, what he'll be saying here is well done for stopping the flow of 3-pointers. All we got to do now is stop any leaking play to Jamal Kennedy on the fast break and then get our action going on the offensive end. Obviously, Tuck's been sitting down for quite a while. I see him coming back shortly.
Well, this is the interesting thing for Atiba Lions, because obviously in that first half of the season, he's had a lot of injuries, short bench. Not quite at full strength with Colin Singh out, but Roblicki back in the lineup. That brings its own different challenges, because you've got a guy that you want to get out there and play some minutes, but obviously that displaces minutes from other guys who've been doing a job for you in the first few months of the season.
No, that is true, but I don't think that's going to be a huge worry for Coach Lyons right now, because he sees Roblicki as being a key part of that rotation, you know, and obviously working with Tuck and also spelling Tuck. So I think right now he's happy to sort of ease them back in there together and take what comes out of that. Gachet
to Riley, round the screen. drives to the basket all the way. Again, got past his man. There's no help there, and he ends up with an easy lane.
Yep, plenty of conversation going on between those two, so I expect a bit of fireworks. Rembert sitting down right now with his offense. Sharks just 2 points down.
And Worcester trying the high-low from Walker to Navahas, and foul is called as Rublicki had hold.
And that's the difference in the two big guys, Rublicki and Tuck. That's a foul Tuck doesn't commit in terms of his body movement, whereas Rublicki picks up, I believe, it's only his first. So
he'll sit down, and Rembert will check in for him. Khan comes in, gets the ball round the screen, drives down the lane, spins out to Backman from behind the arc. Yes, it's good. A 7th three-pointer of the game for the Worcester Wolves inside 15 minutes.
And that's the 4th different Wolf.
Rembert trying to reply. Backman with the one-handed rebound.
Yeah, making himself felt all over the floor, Backman.
He wants it again here. But this time he goes inside to Walker.
Let's see if he's got a move here from a big fella. Ooh, the look away. Pushes Tuck right under the basket.
Just strength there.
If he gets within 5 feet there, that's too much. Obviously, Mike Tuck giving away a few pounds, shall we say.
Wolves out to a 7-point lead, the biggest of the game.
Bodies everywhere.
Navahas it was hitting the deck. Riley from behind the arc. The long rebound comes out to Rembert. Now inside to Tuck. He's going to try and go to work. Good help from Walker to make it difficult. And Worcester can stretch it further here as Khan drives straight to the basket. And the lead is now 9. And Sheffield, having started the game reasonably well, have drifted behind here in the second quarter.
Well, we talked about what could be going on in that timeout just before, and one of the things I mentioned there was, you know, they're taking care of the 3-pointers. They've got to stop the breakaway baskets, and the breakaway baskets have just come in droves. You know, look at this, right down the lane with the Ole defense for 2.
We've seen a bit of that at either end of the court, where the guy beats his man and there's no support from anywhere else. And
Riley scoring easily for the Sharks in the opposite end.
Well, Coach Paul James will be very pleased. We talked about 88 being their magic number. They're well on pace to that right now. With 4.5 minutes to go to halftime, they're at 35 and doing it the way they do it. I mean, we often say, well, you can't rely on making all these 3-pointers necessarily in the second half, but they're going to take another 15 or so in this ball game without a shadow of a doubt.
Absolutely, and the thing we mentioned earlier on about Tongue getting some rest earlier for the Sharks and coming back in. Obviously, Trevor Setty's been resting for quite a while, and with Clarkson picking up that second foul, he's been resting for quite a while. They're going to feel fairly refreshed coming back in, and Setty was shooting the ball quite well when he left.
Well, I'm sure Paul James, as pleased as he is here, will know from what he's seen this season that his team can be a little up and down, and that they've started well through 15 minutes. Doesn't always equate to being on the right end of the scoreline at the end. Bichette trying to lob it to Tuck, and that's a little push in the back from Mike Tuck.
Yeah. A little bit too much one-on-one there.
It's one of them, you sometimes get away with it, but probably not best to do it when the referee's on your side of the key. You see there,
it is
just
right
a
there.
little shot. Kennedy down to Walker, Backman cutting through, but Kennedy, Walker goes on his own, and as you said a moment ago, if he gets that close, there's only one result.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a case. I saw Zach Gachet at the back there trying to consider whether to go and double team or not. I think Coach Atiba is going to want them to double team that down the lane.
Backman with the block.
Yeah. He's really, ooh.
Khan just lost his footing there, had to throw it away, and tried to recover, but couldn't get it back. Here's Gachet, plenty of time to line up this 3. Thornton with the offensive rebound. Davis drives in. Tough pass that, trying to get it to Gachet. But the Sheffield man does keep it alive. And here's Jordan Davis at the top of the key. Backman will chase that down.
Oh, you may as well have said Batman the way he's been everywhere at the moment, Backman. He really has held his head up for Coach James.
Backman, 16-foot jumper.
Who needs Robin?
Yeah. 13-point lead now.
Wow, this is going away.
Tough. Thornton. And he replies with a similar distance shot.
Well needed 15-foot jumper. Thornton.
There's Backman open from behind the arc. That one doesn't go, but Navas in the right place for the offensive rebound. Here's Backman a little closer to the basket, and he makes it for two.
He is doing it all.
Thornton.
Same spot.
Might have been half a foot closer, but it's good for two.
One more stop here, have a chance to get it under 10.
2 minutes to go here in the second quarter at the University Arena in Worcester.
Sheffield pulled a quick switch of defense there just to mess things up. That little zone defense. It's caused a little bit of a slowdown for the Wolves.
Backman overcooks the lane. It didn't hit the ring, so that's a shot clock violation.
Credit coach Atiba Lions, searching for something, pulled out that little switch on defense, and he got two stops.
Timeout call, Worcester Wolves.
Timeout call by Coach Paul James and the Worcester Wolves. And I'm sure PJ will be saying, right, we've got an 11-point lead. Halftime is 103 seconds away. Let's make sure we execute offensively, play good D, and make sure the lead is still about this sort of margin going in. Because what you don't want, having worked so hard to build this lead up, is them to have 2 or 3 good plays at the end of the half, and suddenly you go in and your lead's down to 4 or 5.
And this is the dilemma you have with coaches sometimes, is you don't want to give the players too many things to think about. You know, and when you start thinking, well, now there's a minute and a half, there's 2 minutes, guys start hesitating. The way the Wolves have been able to open this lead up is just by playing instinctively. They played hard on the defensive end, they've ripped down rebounds, whether that be Batman or Kennedy, and they've outletted that ball and gone. And whoever's been open has taken that opportunity. So you don't want to break that rhythm, but obviously you've got to be aware that the Sharks are a wily team. They found a way to stop that flow, and they've got the ball to look to get this thing under 10 points.
Well, I think there were 2 of their first 11 shots, the Worcester Wolves, which would make them 15 of 26 since then, which is a pretty good number.
Especially with a sprinkling of threes. And Coach James hasn't come back with Seti or Klassen to close out the half.
Well, I guess if it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
Bichette has it now. Rembo on top of the key for 3. Halfway in, Navas with the rebound.
You really got 4 good rebounders on the floor for the Wolves right now. Ooh, missed the big fella.
Yeah, Walker was open there for a second. His eyes lit up, but the ball didn't come his way. Here's Backman firing up from behind the arc.
The dude is smoking.
Well, in the first quarter, it was Huffor. In the second quarter, it's been Backman who's now into double figures. Top has to kick it out. Air ball, but Thornton with the rebound. Still plenty of time on the shot clock, and he does well to go right through the contact off the glass, and that'll be good for an and-one.
Strong move, big fella.
Let's have another look. Navas, you can see his arms are way in front. So there's no argument with the call. But even having his hands in a
strong position,
couldn't stop Thornton from converting, and actually we're going to get another timeout call by Paul James.
Yeah. You love to see the jousting between the coaches, Daniel. You got a situation previously where Coach Lyons changed that defense to the zone, which messed up Worcester for a couple of possessions. So Coach James called a timeout. Of course, when they went back, expecting to face the zone, Coach Lyons had changed it back to a man-to-man. You know, again, the same similar scenario, except for Batman pulling out what he's been doing all game. Now, with 49 seconds to go, 2 possessions maybe for the Wolves. A quick one and a slow one.
Yeah, that's possibly why PJ's called the timeout here, just to say, right, let's try and get this score on the board in the next, what, 15 seconds to make sure we get 10 seconds back after at least.
Yep.
It's one of them where you don't want to take 24 seconds, that's for sure.
The funny thing is the Wolves haven't needed any encouragement to get it going.
That's true, yeah. They haven't needed telling.
You know, and you see Coach Lyons, he might have said to the guys in there, listen, knock these 2 down and jump on them on a quick press. Let's see if we can't steal this thing back.
Thornton converts the 3-point play, and there is a bit of a press here from Sheffield.
Just to hesitate and hold them up from that quick bucket.
I'm guessing to try and stretch the clock out a bit
it.
and not allow that 2-for-1 situation. Khan. Walker. It's got to go here. This is an offensive foul.
Ho, ho, ho. I think Mike Tucker's fished a couple of those over the years. He set his man up beautifully. Look at that. He took the first one and said, right, come on with the second. There you go.
Can't really argue with that,
Can't
though, can
argue
you?
with that at all. No, that's a pro there, just teaching a young fella a trick or 2.
Well, he's going to go sit down, having picked up his second foul. They don't want another one with 27 seconds to go to halftime. And Setti comes back in, but Sheffield can almost run this down. There's 3.2 difference between the shot and the game clock here. Remember, into Tuck. Tuck, too strong.
Ooh.
Thornton's tip doesn't go. Backman knocks it loose. 10 seconds to go. Khan off and running. Khan all the way to the basket. If Sheffield are quick here, they can get one more.
Yep, 3 seconds.
Davis runs down, pulls up, fires for 3, doesn't go, and it's been very much Worcester Wolves' first half here at the University of Worcester Arena. It was Danny Huffor doing the damage in that first quarter, Vince, and then Andrew Backman in the halftime up in Newcastle. That is a lot of points, 108 points between the two teams in only 20 minutes. And unfortunately for them, Cheshire, we saw Josh Wilshere ruled out for the rest of the season with that injury that had sidelined him last week. So that a bit of a blow. They brought in a replacement for him, but changes afoot there. They've still got a new coach to come in. A lot of rumors swirling around, but nothing confirmed as yet for them. And then,
but I can say it won't be me, Daniel.
Well, it definitely won't be you, Vince. That much we're aware of. And then in the other trophy game currently going on, they're just starting the second period, and that one on the cards for a potential upset there with Essex leading Manchester 29 points to 17. Manchester just brought in a former Cheshire player, Creppy, into the lineup, but Yorick Williams, I'm sure, will be pulling his hair out with his team down 12 to the lower division team.
Well, you know, don't sleep on our near neighbors, Essex Leopards, because they've got a bunch of former Lions in the lineup, and no greater Lion than Mike Martin. You know, that's a guy who knows how to win, ably supported by Perry Lawson and a bunch of other really young English talented players. And they've been looking forward to this game for a long time. In fact, they believe that they brought the extra reinforcements in at Manchester just for this game. So they're pretty fired up. So let's see what happens down the stretch over there.
Well, still a long, long way to go in that game, but 12-point lead for Essex through the opening 11 minutes. And, well, Atiba Lyons has made his way back out onto court, and so too is his team. But interestingly, Worcester have gone and sat down for the last couple of minutes. You know, they've been through their warm-ups. They've had enough. Sheffield has just gone out and quickly warmed things up. But as you mentioned, it's a trophy game, so there is no tomorrow for the losing team in this scenario. And these two teams have both managed to find their way to the final in recent years, but only one of them has the opportunity to go on to the next stage where they might potentially come across the London Lions. Obviously, you've got the Surrey Scorchers to navigate first off, but Sheffield looking favourite to make it through to that quarter-final as it stands right now. Sorry, Worcester looking favourite.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll see who comes through on the 14th when we play against the Surrey Scorchers, a very good Surrey Scorchers team with a couple of players to add since our last game against them. But I'm looking at the stats right now, Daniel, and I see two things. I see 3 fouls against the Sharks. That's a team that's down 13 points. You could say fighting for their lives in this competition, and 3 fouls is a poor return. If they had 13, I'd say they were battling themselves into the ground. And then the other stat I see is 2 points for Mike Tuck, 1 of 5 shooting. So those 2 numbers have to change if those Sharks are going to make it through to the next round.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting stat you pull out there, Vince, because it's one of those where you always go, well, actually, as a coach, you don't want to get into foul trouble, you don't want to rack up fouls. And to be fair, there's not been many called in the game. There's only been 10 fouls in the entire game, but 3 fouls in a half can tell you something about the way you're playing defense as much as the way the game is being called.
That's right. So either you're flailing and chasing these 3-pointers around and can't catch them, or you're just not contesting attempts at the bucket. And I think this next 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes is big.
Well, Gachette didn't quite time that, but he was smart enough to make sure that he could tip it away to a teammate, and Sheffield get the ball back. Here's Tuck, top of the key. Walker was slow, but got there in the end. You've got to get all the way out to Mike Tuck. That's a tough shot from Thornton. Tuck trying to keep it alive.
Yeah, stepped on the line.
But he was already out of bounds.
Yeah. Last possession there, he had the opportunity to attack Walker. I'd like to see him start making his presence felt. He's the heart and soul of this team.
Classic to Walker. Backing down, now he goes. Long running hook, can't play defense much better than that against him.
No, and we talked about double teaming. We saw Davis come along, didn't quite make the double team, but they're concerned about it and they're going to be looking for,
too high, and Gachette can't pull it in. Klassen, Kennedy wants the lob, gets the lob, jams it in! Well, Kennedy was all on his own, pointed to the basket.
For an age.
And Marek Klassen doesn't need an invite to throw an assist.
There's Tuck with the ball against the big fella.
Ooh. Out to Gachet on the buzzer, hits the side of the board. Referee will say shot clock violation.
A couple of buddies went flying there.
Yeah.
Davis fell, Klassen hit his knee. Kennedy kind of run out of bounds. Gachet takes the seat right now. 15
Riley
points, yeah. Sharks need some points very quickly.
Well, they've not scored yet in this second half. Here's Klassen. Walker all on his own at the free throw line. Doesn't go though. Bit of a breakdown there defensively. Just the one basket in the opening 2 minutes.
That would suit the Wolves.
Tuck to Davis. Davis will fire for three. That's short.
Another defensive rebound. Walker.
Klassen to Setti for three. Not quite. Kennedy chasing it down, keeps it alive. Huffor open in the corner. He's doing it again. 5th one of the game for Danny Huffor.
Remember me, this is dangerous territory.
Well, it's out to 18 now.
Yeah, free-flowing basketball from the Wolves. Just letting it fly.
Riley from behind the arc. Rebound Klassen.
Hoffer's gone.
Well, who would have thought this coming into this game? You've got a form team. Said, oh my goodness, what a shot from Trevor Setti.
Yeah, we've got smiles all around from the Wolves. Everybody is pumped up.
Well, we said Sheffield need to start, you said it, Vince, need to start the second half well here, and, well, they haven't. They've not scored in the opening 3 minutes.
Look at the confidence here.
Look, yeah, that's a tough shot. Beautiful rotation on the ball as well, and Sheffield find themselves down 20.
Yeah, it's a deep hole, and I said it's the first 2-3 minutes. It's 3 minutes in.
Well, it still looks relatively calm, the Tiba Lions. There's a long way back, but there's still 17 minutes in the game. At some point, you think their offense is going to kick into gear.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the time for throwing toys out of the pram is gone. This is about just trying to instill confidence in the guys, give them specific instructions, get a score, get a stop, get a score, get a stop. All of a sudden, 16 looks a lot better than 20, and 13 suddenly looks doable.
Well, we saw last week that late comebacks on the road are certainly more than possible. Cheshire were 10 down with, I think it was about 4 minutes to go, and ended up winning that game in overtime.
The thing is, yeah, you've got a fresh-looking Klassen and a hungry-looking Setti.
And the Wolves fans will remember, whilst we were watching that, they were here watching their team. They were at least 15 up against Plymouth and ended up losing that one by 3 in regulation. Here's Rablicki going to the runner. Nice move, but he doesn't get the end product he wanted. Setti. Now Walker. Kicks it out to Huffor, fakes the three. Dancing through the lane.
Wow.
Huffor, what a finish!
Inside, outside, I do it all.
19 points now for Huffor. Here's Rembert in the corner for three. Boy, did Sheffield need that, having conceded the first 10 points of this second half.
Wow.
9 points, sorry, of the second half. Here's Huffor from behind the arc. Oh, they're all going in for Danny Huffor. His 6th in 7 attempts. And he's up to 20.
I don't know where the fire brigade station is in Worcester, Daniel, but somebody needs to come and cool this fella off.
Well, the river is across the street. Rembert steps and blocked by Kennedy. He enjoyed that too.
And he lets him know.
Just sort of sizes him up here. Ready, ready, here I'm coming. Boom.
Yep.
Throws him out.
Rejection. Wow.
Rember for three, tough shot, doesn't go. Tapped out, but only as far as Rember. Drives in the corner is Davis, fakes the three. Driving baseline, gets it to Tuck for two.
They're still playing disciplined basketball, Sharks. They're still sharing the basketball. Ooh, who's he going to call that on? Ooh,
I think it's going to be on Davis. It's one of them where when you're side by side like that, it very rarely goes against the offensive player, even though he did have his arm out there.
Yeah. Nice to see the nice handshake between the two of them, because you see it right here.
Sort of, actually doesn't look much of anything from that angle, does it? But from the angle we were at, and certainly the ref was at. That's tipped out of bounds. It'll be end line ball to the Wolves, who lead by 20. I think Sheffield were about 8-point favourites for this game, which is a big margin.
Yeah. And that's the thing about the BBL. You've got to play every game.
Setti, not quite for three. Reblecki with the rebound.
Kennedy's energy's all over the place.
Reblecki on the trail, gets it to Riley round the screen. Dumped in. Reblecki trying to go to work, and there's a foul. I think it'll be on the floor on Trevor Setti.
It is. Reblecki trying to put some work in under there. Nice hesitation move, nice drop inside. Yep, before he spun his way around.
Remember, has it taken away.
Great hands.
Huffor under pressure, but nothing they can do can stop Danny Huffor right now.
And he's telling the world, you can't hold me. We said 88, they might get to 88 before the end of the third.
Stolen away, not quite. Mike Tuck will chase it back.
Time's running out on this possession, 10 seconds.
He loses it, but fortunately to Reblecki, and he puts it in for two.
They're just going right at him.
They are, and Walker draws the contact from Tuck, and he'll go to the line for two.
Wow, it's relentless from the Wolves right now. Inside, outside.
Well, it's interesting. We were talking about this guy, but he may well end up with a double-double by the end of the game. But so far, 7 points, 4 rebounds. If you're Sheffield, you're thinking, wow, we've kept the league's leading scorer and rebound to 7 and 4. So it's jammed, so that'll be possession to Sheffield and an old jump ball rule. But yeah, you would think 4 minutes gone in the third quarter. We've kept Walker to 7 points and 4 rebounds. We must be doing a great job. What's the score? Oh no, we're down 20.
Yeah, 24 points in 18 minutes for Danny Huffor. 6 of 7 from the land of plenty.
Oh, he sees that to steal it away again. He's off and running.
Oh my goodness!
Danny Huffor throws it down.
Wow! Holy smokes! Huffor puts Gachet in the bucket on the fast break. That'll make the play of the week.
Sure will. That'll be right up there. Riley dancing to the hole, draws the foul.
High dribble, low dribble, 2 quick dribbles, finish off the window. There's a low one, inside, outside. Phew. It's happening all over the place right now.
Riley for the three-point play, but first of all, Walker will sit down. He's on 3 fouls, and he's replaced by Navas. It's funny, I was asked before the game, who holds the record for most double-doubles? And by a Wolves person.
By a Wolves player?
Yeah, I had to look back just quickly. I got Will Creekmore at 30, which I think is a club record, but Walker's on 7. He's a long way back.
Yep.
Setti drives through.
Tipped out by the Sharks.
But Creekmore, 30 double-doubles in a season. He missed a few games through injury. They would have played, I think, about 45 games that season. He definitely missed a couple through injury. That's pretty much every night, isn't it? Klassen driving through. He's blocked from behind by Tuck, but the foul is called.
It's foul number 3.
I think it's one of them where he got the ball, but because he came from behind, let's see if we can see on the replay. Klassen gets past him.
Yeah, he got him.
You think?
He got the ball, but he got his arm. And you really got to protect all shooters at all times.
And Klassen makes him about a 22-point lead in favor of the Wolves. 13 minutes to go in the ballgame. I thought Huffor was going to get
Huffor is hunting everything down everywhere.
Shet into Rablicki. And there is Huffor knocking it loose. They've still got it though, Sheffield. Clock getting low into good pass from Davis to find Rablicki.
Well, they found somebody now down low that's able to connect. Riley's been connected. They need one more if they're going to...
Setti for 3. No.
Riley's active. Jordan Davis is active. Gachet is active. Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? Oh, he should have passed it inside.
Gachet stripped by Setti, gets it back though.
There you go, another one. They've changed a little bit of a show press here. Not a real press, just a little show press.
Klassen. Navas with the mid-range. Quick outlet to Gachet, but Navas is there to deflect it away.
Every Wolf wants the ball, Danny. Look at him.
Huffor certainly does. Huffor for 3. Yes! Another one for Danny Huffor. Make that 7 from 8 attempts.
Wow.
He's even got the ring joining in now, hasn't he? The swishes aren't good enough. He wants the drama.
I'd like to see him hit one up the scoreboard.
Setti stolen away by Huffor. And the fans by us are going absolutely nuts for Danny Huffor right now.
Well, he saw Batman come in and play those minutes in the second. But now we've got Huffor and Batman on the floor. And apologies to Backman for calling him Batman, but wowee.
Well, he's still the second leading scorer on his team. For exploits in the second quarter. Here's Klassen down the lane, trying to get it away, but the pass was stolen by Gachet.
23 points, 1:22 to go. Quarter number 3.
Gachet drives in. Navas has it. Here's Huffor now.
Watch the alley-oop. Uh-oh. Turns it down. Where's...
Uh-oh! Uh-oh! Oh, not quite from Navas. And that'll be a jump ball.
Wow, the little dipsy-do stuck me through. Didn't quite go.
Klassen will sit down. Here's a look at this. Look at that. Love to see the big men making moves like that.
Absolutely. And you can with 70 points on the clock.
Huffor just on the line there. Oh, air ball.
Well, that won't affect his...
Look at him, look at him. Oh, my hands, it's a bit slippy.
The oven gloves are burnt off.
Yeah,
You might get another set.
Yeah.
This thing is sizzling.
But because he towed the line, it won't affect his three-point shooting. Oh, stolen away by Card. He's off and running. Huffor wants it now, will it? No, I thought he was going to try and make amends. Well, Sheffield.
It's
The body language doesn't look great right now, does it?
It's
like,
just kind of dawning on them,
the
chasm, really.
Yeah. There comes that point where you go, actually, maybe,
This one's not going to happen.
Our highest scoring quarter so far is 18 points. And we've got to find 24 points more than the other team going into the final period. For three.
Wow, look at that. Wolves rebounding everything.
Oh, not a great pass, though. Picked off. It's tough.
Can't.
Shot clock is switched off. They can take their time here. Sheffield, he's run out of court, has he? Yes, he has.
Yeah. Navajaz did well there to stay with Gadget on that drive.
It's one of them with 10 seconds to go. Maybe you just recycle it back out. It's easy to say from here, is sure. Can't.
3 seconds.
With the crossover. Trying to go through the legs. Recovers. Dumps it off. Shot's got to go up. Huffor on the buzzer. It's too late. It's too late. Wave it off. I think even Danny Huffor knows. He's arguing it, but I think he knew that was too late. But, heck, it's been his quarter just as the first quarter was. And, you know, one more basket here or there.
Oh, don't
doesn't
say that.
Really
don't
matter,
say that to
20,
a player.
29
He's got 29.
Points.
He was thinking about 30 for the quarter.
Yeah.
Well,
let's have a look back at some of it. Again, as it was in the first quarter, the first one was open and then he got going.
Yep. Absolutely hungry for the ball all the time. There's the steal.
This is the one.
Put the lid on this.
Yeah, because it looked like a Shep might catch him up. Seti enjoyed that. And then, you know,
the ring
round the ring, that's all. It's all good, but 29 points. It's funny, I was talking to PJ before the game, and I said, Huffor, you know, time to time he has those big blowout 30-point games. And here it is, living proof for the TV cameras.
He's got more points than his number, Daniel. 24 is his number, 29 points. And I know you and I used to play in 4 on 5, I think.
Well, what does the Atiba Lions do here with 10 minutes to go? I mean, the game is almost gone, really, isn't it?
Well, they're going to come out and press them, I believe. They're going to come out and press them and just try and see what happens. I mean, here, you just got to go back to your disciplines here. Solid defense. Let's try and press them, get a couple of steals, see what happens. I think the guys know this is going to be a tough climb, but hey, as a coach, you always believe there is still time.
Well, in the other games going on tonight, in the league game between Newcastle and Cheshire, it's the Eagles 71, the Phoenix 69. And there's 12 minutes to go in that game. And, well, Essex with a 10-point lead, 9-point lead now, with 2:40 to go in the first half. Here's Gachette. Gachette drives into Rublicki. Oh, Rublicki slips, and it's going to be a traveling violation.
Yep. Well,
sideline ball to the Wolves.
The Sharks haven't extended that defense. They're just kind of going to play it for par. Oh, it's a 1-3-1 zone from the Sharks.
Wow, you don't see that very often.
We haven't seen that since the old Thorsten Liebernath Glasgow Rocks, if I remember rightly.
I think Rob Paternoster has rolled it out once or twice, just literally once or twice. But I can't remember anybody else. No, there was a game I recall. Oh, inside, that'll count.
And one.
Can't remember what team. There was a game where there was a 1-3-1 being played. I remember commentating it.
Right.
I only remember it because my old local league coach used to love a 1-3-1. I go, nobody plays this defense. What are we doing? And then the following week,
there it was.
There it was in the BBL. So I had to eat humble pie.
We mentioned the Glasgow Rocks, of course. Big weekend for them next weekend.
Yeah, they're up against the Newcastle Eagles. And obviously Glasgow on the back, having set that club record, 13 wins in a row. And they then have lost 2 of their last 3. They still have 1 more game to play before that cup final. Difficult one it is, too, at home in the trophy against Leicester as Backman picks up where he left off earlier on in the game.
Nice baseline pass.
Oh,
get out of
Backman
here.
says no, Riley inside, can't convert.
Backman again.
Trying to whip it down, still going for it.
Oh, look. A foul is called in there. Wow.
And there's a bit of chatter here between Davis and Backman. I don't know what Davis saw, because he was a long way away from the action, but he obviously didn't like something or other.
Wow.
It's on the floor. Hey, let's go.
See, this is the thing. There's the block, and then the ball is loose on the floor here. He's going after it.
Not sure what's happening there. Nothing there, really.
Well, he got called for a foul.
Yeah, there's a foul in there on the contact, you can understand. Although I'd just let him play right now. The Sharks want him to play.
Well, the piece is broken out. Rublicki, good finish.
Nice finishes from Rublicki inside 4 feet so far in this game.
Huffor. Puts it on the floor. Here's Huffor again. Fakes the 3, takes the 3. Doesn't make the 3, but there's Backman.
And he's fouled.
We'll go to the line for 2.
Well, Backman and Robin, Hoffman and Backman. Between the pair of them, they're wrecking havoc.
Yeah, I didn't quite see what happened to Navas, whether he must have got caught.
He got hit on the second attempt, but the foul had been called by that time.
Well, Huffor's going to sit down with Kennedy. Danny Huffor, 29 points.
And I see him just saying to Coach, I only missed 1.
Yeah, well, you were 7 of 8 up until then.
So you're struggling now.
That's taking a tumble. Come sit down until you find it back again. Stretches the lead out to 24. Good pass to Rublicki, who finishes off the glass, again. Yeah. And there's just a little something. Jordan Davis is obviously not happy with life.
No.
And the referees, I think there was just a little bump.
Yeah, it was nothing.
Not much, you know. But the referee, I think on the back of what happened before has just said, all right, no more from you, or we'll give out a technical.
He's one of those guys who likes to play, coach, ref. You love to see those guys in the gym, but...
Oh, Backman from miles out!
maybe it wasn't a good idea to rile Backman up. Jeez, he was already killing. Wow.
Remember.
Just not enough of the stops. I don't know what the Sharks will have to do to get the stops. Everybody's hitting. Big Fella's wide open. Missed him.
Bit high for Backman. Khan has it now.
You might want to give it to Backman and all.
Here's Klassen for 3. No. Navas chases it down.
Everybody's missing Walker under the basket. Nobody's even looking anywhere near the rim. He's wide open every time at the back of that 1-3-1.
Well, they've got to shoot here. They've got to shoot. There you go, Walker. You want the ball, go get it off the glass.
Oh, and he yells and screams on that too. I got a touch.
Well, I guess when you're shooting 3s as deadly as they are, why throw it inside? Get more points from the outside as it is. Back. Walker's going to try one, is he?
No, sure. No. The roof is on fire, Daniel. Holy smokes.
Mo Walker knocks down the three, waves to the fans, get on your feet, give it up. He does have that. It's not the first one he's hit this season. It's in fact the third one he's hit this season. But I mean, that's one of the things. When the big centre comes down, knocks down the three at the top of the key,
it's all
you
over.
Know it's your night.
Yeah. I mean, look, here it is. You wouldn't give it to me inside, but I'll have some of that. Gee whiz. Well, it's a shame we missed it. Was that like a halftime shootout for £1 million, Daniel? You and I couldn't get, because anybody could shoot at these rims, obviously.
Well, PJ, the look on PJ's face, that was the old 1980s, 1990s PJ when he's seen this big man jacking up a three and he's going, well, I guess it went in.
Yeah.
That was the important thing.
He's like, oh, no, now I'm going to have to deal with that in the next game now.
13 from 28 from the three-point line.
What a time to do it.
The Worcester Wolves. Really, I mean, there's not a lot you can do against that, but when you are 3 of 21 as a team of Lions as Sheffield are from behind the arc, you know, that's just that contrast alone is the difference in the game. You look at that, in made three-pointers, it's a 30-point difference, and yet there's only 7 attempts fewer by Sheffield.
And, you know, we did say earlier in the game, you know, this is a DBL Sharks team that's undefeated in 7-8 weeks. And you look at the scoreline, you think, hang on a minute, what's happening here?
Yeah. Well, I can't think that anybody would have put money on this scoreline at the start of the game. Even the most ardent Wolves fan wouldn't have thought, you know what, we're going to blow these out by 20. 30, in fact. Well, not a lot you can say about that.
Not a lot.
Here comes Klassen. As Worcester look to put a big number on the board here. Backman for 3. They're all flying in. Well, we talked about 88 being the magic number.
Right.
They're one short. Speaking of big numbers on the board, Newcastle have 97 against Cheshire with still 6 minutes to go. They lead there by 15 as Riley replies with a 3 at the other end, and Manchester still double figures down. That's a halftime score, 49-38 down in Brentwood. Klassen, Navas. I think Sheffield would have walked off. And time to go home.
I think I would have walked off.
If we get back-to-back threes from Walker and Navas, it's time to go home.
Holy Christ.
Davis drives in. Rembert for 3. He knocks down another.
Back-to-back, Rembert Riley.
Can't all the way to the basket. And Atiba calls another timeout here. 4:32 to go. This is one of those really where, I mean, it's his job. He's got to keep going to the end, but there's not a lot you can do as a coach with 4:32 to go in a 89-62 ball game.
No, Scan there splits the defense, lays it up. There's not a lot, except you want your team now. I'm sure in the back of his mind somewhere he's thinking about the next game, so he just wants them to make a stand, keep their discipline, which to their credit they have done, keep playing hard. Let's keep doing what we do. We'll take whatever comes, but we got to keep on playing.
Turn them at the last second so we can try to get a trap. Okay? Any ball screen stuff, you got to trap to the front court too. All right, double everything, be aggressive. Okay.
So they're going to try and trap the ball.
That's what you got one job. All right? Let's flow into the 5. Let's flow into 5 quickly. Get off this quickly. All right, let's kick the ball ahead in transition. Wings, big, on the floor.
it isn't going to be their night. Worcester Wolves, even if they don't score another point, have got past 88, and they always win when they get past 88. Remember, Tuck.
Wow. Got hit.
Foul is called, and he'll go to the line for 2. Only the 3rd foul on Backman, and I can't remember the last time I got to a BBL game, 4:21 to go, and nobody with more than 3. And in fact, only 4 guys, 2 on each team, have reached 3. There really haven't been that many fouls. And I know there's been a lot of 3-point shots go up, and that always helps. But there's some big boys out there as well.
Well, you could say they haven't had a chance to play, really. As you say, the ball's been going up. I think both defenses probably got to look at themselves in terms of how many threes they've allowed.
Blackman, oh, shoot it.
Should have done.
Navas keeps it alive. This time he does take the 3, and he knocks it down. Andrew Backman, well, on any other given night, he'd be the star performer, but he's played second fiddle thus far. He's trying to get ahead, but he's played second fiddle thus far to Danny Huffor. Walker still might get his double-double. Khan going coast to coast.
Wow. It's blistering. Oh.
Davis hits the deck hard. Gets up pretty quickly, though. Khan called for the offense. You see, just got caught from behind. Just,
I think they would have let it go, just at his feet.
Yeah.
Got caught up in there.
Brownell and Thornton into the game. Davis into top. Backman coming with the help. He's now triple teamed, gets it out to Riley for 3, and he hits it down.
Yep.
Oh. Walker was wide open there. It took a while for the ball to get to him. Navas thinks about the 3. So too does Khan. Klassen. Khan has to shoot. Khan knocks it down.
Well, that's the 6th different 3-point driller.
Well, the only man who's been on court and not made a 3-pointer for the Wolves is Kennedy.
Well, still 2.5 minutes.
Although whether he comes back in is to be seen. Here's Walker. Spinning baseline. Tuck does as much as he can to put him off, and Thornton grabs the rebound. Davis pulls up for 3. Long rebound is just reached by Merrick Klassen. Navas says, oh, all right, we're not in a hurry. Backman is, though. Well, Wolves are going to make substitution. Kennedy is one of them.
Yep. And Setti.
And so too Jacobs, who's going to check in for the first time.
Phew.
So could everybody make a 3? But there we go. Anyway, the MVP, the Moulton MVP of this game, is going to come back in for the last couple of minutes. 29 points for Danny Huffor, 7 3-pointers, as well as 4 rebounds, a couple of steals and an assist. He's done a really great job for his team. Sparked it right at the beginning in the first quarter and just kept it going.
Absolutely, and kept that drive going for them.
Jacobs trying to go to work. Back up to Klassen on the shot clock buzzer. Top with the rebound.
The fans are paying for that three to give him 100.
Bakovic. He will take a three. I think Kennedy might have got a touch for that. Thornton. Long rebound, chased down in the end by Huffor. He ripped it away. Huffor to the hole, gets fouled. Oh! He lost the ball, he caught it back and he laid it in.
31 with 1 to come.
Well, Danny Huffor having one of those nights where even when you lose the ball, it doesn't really matter.
And Setti's just overjoyed. Geez, you don't want to see Huffor roll up wearing number 35 on his shirt.
Oh, off the back of the ring, tipped by Setti, but only as far as Eddie Brownell. Brownell all the way to the basket, and a foul is called. Well, the fans desperate for 100 points to be on the board. And with a minute to go, you'd expect Worcester to score one more time. It's almost over here. It's almost over 2 in Newcastle. They're about a minute away from the end. The Eagles are going to stretch their lead at the top of the table there. 114.93 ahead of Cheshire. Setti loses the ball.
Playing with the basketball.
Kennedy with the rebound. And you can hear the fans, go on, we want to score, we want 100. If they don't get it here, they might not shoot on the last play. Huffor knows what they want, but can't deliver. And I don't think they're going to shoot on the last play. They usually don't.
Usually don't, no.
It'll annoy the fans, but it's etiquette.
Unless there's a steal.
And Setti called for the foul, so Bakovic will go to the line. Shot clock will be switched off here, Vince, and you've got all these people here who want to see 100 points versus you don't shoot on the last play when you're up 33.
No.
Banks open.
Young Bakovic knocks it down.
Even he looked a bit surprised at that.
Well, Riley and Rembert have done what they could for the Sharks with 16 and 15, but in front of this onslaught, it just wasn't enough.
Thornton with the offensive rebound, and he draws the foul.
Well, they didn't hold the ball for the last play there.
Well, the fans have started chanting one more point now. They can't not shoot here, Vince, can they?
Hey,
I don't think I've ever heard that
Everybody
before.
says the fans are the sixth man, right?
Yeah,
they're paying for it.
Yeah, they're paying for it. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Let's see what Coach Paul James, what he says to them, or if he just leaves them to their own devices.
Yeah. Well, he makes it. What will they do here? Well, Brownell will steal it away, so it doesn't matter. Bakovic, Brownell in the corner, doesn't go. Bakovic, they can't get the ball. Thornton again, blocked, still again, traveled with it.
6 seconds.
Do they shoot though?
They probably don't.
Yeah, they probably don't.
They probably don't now.
Well, Brownell might foul. No, Huffor will bring it down. They're shouting shoot. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. Good on him too.
You've got to take the win. You've got to be happy with that.
Well, I mean, it was one of those games where early on it looked like Worcester were going to have a night where nothing went in, and then after about, what was it, 6 or 7 minutes, suddenly everything went in, particularly when this guy put it up.
Well, yeah, and that's what happens when you change competitions. You know, you lull yourself into sleep with league tables. All of a sudden, we got a knockout game, and somehow, in the genes of the Wolves, they realized what a knockout game is all about, and they jumped all over the Sharks before you could say Shark.
But it wasn't a one-man show. They got bits from other players as well, none more so than Backman coming off the bench and making a big contribution.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, between the pair of them, really, they just kept that drive going. And then Klaassen, you know, with the limited minutes that he played, he just kept distributing the ball, 9 assists on his way here. And really, the barrage was just too much for the Sharks to deal with.
Well, it's been a bit of an up and down season so far for the Worcester Wolves, but a definite up today. They've won, and won in fine style to get through to the quarterfinals of the BBL Trophy. They've beaten the Sheffield Sharks 99 points to 68. We'll have Paul James in just a moment's time, but first let's look back on the plays of the week in the BBL.